All right, guys, the Blitz is back. Charlie Winkle, Anthony Roberts, Josh Onan. Blitz the Bookie returns for another episode. It is Monday, September the 1st. It's Labor Day, and here we are. NFL Week 1, College Football Week 2. We'll talk about all our main takeaways from last weekend, and we'll get into our previews, picks, and predictions for all the top games this week. But before we do, guys, how did it feel to have football back in your life for a full weekend?
I loved it. I mean, I sat on the couch all day Saturday, noon to midnight. That's what I did. I got my stuff done early Saturday morning, watched the Corso tribute, which was nice, and then it was just football all day.
You were the only lucky one because I was at the baseball field for 12 hours with a 42-inch TV. People was calling me crazy. And then by about 10 after 12, I had like 15 people around my TV.
You knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, they try to call me bougie. This guy on my son's team is the dad. I guess he don't care about football. Everybody thinks you're bougie, right? I'm like, no. I said, it's the first day of college football, bud. Like, it is what it is. And I'm not lying. Like 15 minutes later, I had 8 guys. Oh, this is the greatest idea ever. We're going to have to do this. So I was at the baseball. I was at the baseball field all day. And Anthony was in the wilderness.
Wilderness, son. Wilderness. Red River Gorge. Never been there. It's just a very large, natural, outdoors area. There's not a lot around.
So internet, did you get to watch? I mean, I know
So we watched it, but internet was very spotty. The kids, they were hitting it up. But I told Charlie, I found a spot on my phone, probably in a 20-foot by 20-foot area.
Who cares about the phone? Did you get to watch the games?
Yeah, we did.
It was good with the
we did. So they had
TV situation?
Yeah, yes, we watched the games.
That's all that matters.
It was a good time. Beautiful cabin.
How did you get suckered in to that weekend?
Well, it was
You was in the doghouse.
Well, my wife's 40th birthday, and then her aunt did this for her. But man, it was kind of cool because I had a pond right at the bottom, and I enjoy fishing. And we had the TV right outside on the back end of the cabin, and walk down to the pond and fish. Even though I got poison ivy all over me right now, it's look, guys, I didn't get to watch the Corso tribute.
It wasn't as many tears as I thought.
No, I didn't. I mean, I just wish. I think Charlie had texted me. I think this was a year too late.
Yeah,
I think there would have been a better tribute a year before. He just wasn't there all the way. And as much as I loved Corso throughout the years, I think they waited a year too long. It was a classy, well-done production. Ohio State honored him with the band spilling out Corso.
I saw that.
All that was nice and everything, but it was just a year too late. And I love Corso, and I always remember what he did for the game.
It might have kept his mind sharp, and that might have been a positive they did for him. A lot of old people, when you got something to wake up for every day and still do, that's why I really don't never want to retire fully. I want to have something to look forward to every day. So I'll say this. I've said it before on this show. Shout out to ESPN. I'm not saying you guys always get it right, but just being loyal to this guy, to me, says a lot about you as a company, because everybody knows. We've seen it with Dick too. Dick Vitale, I'm talking about sticking with your people, even when they're down, even when they're getting old, because those are the people that help build you. It was fun to watch college football. We got to watch a lot of it. I watch games a little bit different than I normally watch them. Josh, I know you were a listener to the show before you came. My son to tell you, probably 75% of the time, I'll watch games without volume. I just do. I don't want to let the announcers, what they're saying, I don't want to let it influence what I'm seeing. I'm a big believer. If you keep hearing somebody say something that influence your mindset on it, but we were with friends and family. That's when I do watch it with voice, is when I'm with friends and family, because I'm the only person that likes doing it. But if you ever get a chance, watch a game without volume. You'll get you'll get your perspective.
Of course.
Because I'm telling you, if they keep saying that stuff, you'll start buying into it. Now, there are some things you can miss because they're picking up on it and you aren't. But I think there's more value there than there's not.
So, main takeaway, Anthony, what was your main takeaway from the whole weekend as a whole?
The main takeaway,
maybe 1 or 2 bullet points on what you think were the main takeaways.
So for me, it was the home field's advantages in the big games. It was rocking at those places. I mean, the U, Ohio State, even Clemson. Clemson was rocking. They got beat, but it was rocking. That home, I think it's nuts to play that big of a game that early. I think I would take U of L's approach and play like a EKU. I wouldn't even play at Toledo. I'd play a Cupcake. I just would. You don't know if you're ready. And so that was one of the main takeaways, the home field advantage. And then the Miami Hurricanes offense and defensive line. You don't dominate Notre Dame much on the offense and defensive line.
They look good.
Ruben Bain, that Francis Mayaga, the left tackle. Dude, Ruben Bain was all over the place. Mayaga, they threw everything they could to get pressure on that side. And Notre Dame's good at doing that. Now, Golden's gone to the Bengals, but that was my biggest takeaways was the crowds and then the offense and defensive lines for Miami Hurricanes.
Josh, what was your main takeaway of the week?
Main takeaway was I was correct about Notre Dame.
Yes, you were.
I took the U. I told you they're bums. I hate y'all. This hillbilly was right again.
Got him.
You wrong on a lot.
We all.
I'm joking. I was too.
But yeah, that was a pick straight with my heart. Had nothing to do with talent or my knowledge of those two individual programs.
Look good though.
But they did. I look good.
They did.
You know, so Notre Dame playing catch up now to get to the playoff. My next takeaway was that Ohio State Texas game. Don't give up on Arch yet. I didn't think he was set up well from his offensive coordinator or Sarkisian that game. There was no easy passes for him at the beginning to help him get in the flow. They went for it on fourth down a couple times.
Did they break a record for going for it on fourth down? They went for it. It had to be like 6 times at least.
I think it was 4
against an elite defense.
Ohio it felt like 4 in the first half.
But they left points on the board, and I always think take the points, especially being on the road in an atmosphere like that. Now your quarterback, instead of being down late in the game 14-6, potentially, if they make the field goals, they're down 14-0. So then you get more and more anxious, more and more likely to have to go for it. Now you have to go for it on fourth down when you could have maybe picked up some points earlier in the game.
You got too many coaches. I'm going to just say it. Analytics come out. It's almost like it's gave these coaches a green light just to go for it. They're going for it way too much on fourth down. I'm not saying there's not times to go for it. There absolutely is times to go for it. And I do not believe in the old school thought, like always kick the field goal. But you got to look at the game situation. 3 points is better than nothing. And I hate when they do it and they're out like at the 35-yard line or the 40-yard line. Just because you get that first down don't mean you're going to score.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, or if you go for it on your own 40, just because you get that first down, you still got 60 yards to go. It's not like it's an automatic score. Just play field position football. I could go all day on it, but that's what I say.
Although I do think they went for it a lot on fourth down, I don't think they were bad calls because they were all in situations where I probably would have went for it too. Look, Texas got beat, but if they score on the 4th and 1 from the 1-yard line, as bad as they played, as rough as they looked, they could have won that game. That play changed the game to stop on the 1-yard line because look, if they get in, like I said, it could easily went the other way. So I'm with you. I'm not giving up on Texas. I do think there's questions, and me and Anthony have talked about it. Is he a pocket passer? Is he not a pocket passer? I'm not saying he's not. I still need to see more because I do agree that I think Sarkisian maybe was just pulling the reins back on him. I know they stretched the field a little bit, and when they did, he did have those couple picks, but let him go. He is your guy.
Right.
Arch Manning is your guy. Let him go and see what happens. You're going to win or you're going to lose with him. So just let it fly, man. It was a big game. Don't hold him back.
Texas has nothing to hang their head about. That was a fairly even played game. I know one team won, one team lost. That's the way the games work. But I always go back and analyze things based on things that went right and wrong. It was an even matchup.
Both defenses absolutely
Texas defense,
legit. Hey,
huge shout out to Texas's defense.
Shout out to Ohio State's defense.
No doubt.
8 new guys. Of course, we know what their defensive backfield looked like, but I was worried about the matchup. I talked about it last week. In the trenches with 8 new guys, linebackers and defensive line, they look good.
I'm going to tell you where I think the problem is. Everybody thinks, and I think that the coach even bought into it. But just because his last name is Manning does not mean that he's a pocket quarterback. I know Eli was. I know Peyton was. I know they're these elite arms. But every time I watched him last year, and I'm just going by what I've seen of him, I never thought he was an elite passer. I thought he was a good passer with some talent there, and he can develop more and more as a passer. But I always thought his game was like getting out on the edge and flipping the ball and being a good passer. If Texas wants to go far, in my opinion, that's what they got to have Arch doing, using your legs, because that will loosen that defense up. They'll bring guys down in the box that have to stop that. And when they do, it'll make passing a lot easier. Listen, let's not forget that Arch was going against 2 of the best corners in the country. You get him out moving against lesser of defenses, he'll be just fine. I still like Arch. I do think everybody was making him the Heisman winner before he was the Heisman winner. He needs to earn that. but he'll have a good opportunity with Texas.
I'm not giving up on him.
No way.
I do think it's question mark pocket passer thing, but I'm not giving up on him. Let the man cook, as Josh would say.
We got another 3 weeks for
Josh, what's your opinion on the pocket passing? I know how me and Charlie kind of felt. Do you think he needs to use his legs more?
Of course, he's got to get outside the pocket, but I don't know if maybe they saw something in the game that we didn't.
Okay.
That they wanted to keep him inside the tackles. Maybe
Maybe
they didn't think he had the speed to get out there.
You know,
But we really won't know again for another couple of weeks because they got 3 kind of bunny games.
That's probably what he needs. That's probably what he needs.
This is a takeaway I take. Texas will be just fine. Notre Dame will be just fine. Clemson will be just fine. Guys, it's one game.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the other team was better than them. Maybe they weren't. I will argue that as the show goes on. But all 3 of those teams will be fine. They're top-level teams.
Of course.
All right. Well, my main takeaway, Anthony touched on it just a bit. LSU, to me, looks like the best team in the country. I'm trying not to overreact. Clemson, I do think they're still going to be solid. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to say what I said last year, and I was wrong last year, but I'm going to say it again. Clemson runs the table until maybe the last game of the year against South Carolina, and they have a great year. But LSU, to me, look like the best team. They have the best quarterback in the country. No doubt.
Yeah.
I am dumb.
I have to see DJ Lagway, but yeah, I'm with you on this.
He's way better than DJ Lagway. Nussmeier, I love what you said when I talked to you on the phone. Klubnik cannot tie his cleats.
No,
he can't hold his jock strap.
So let me
He can't. Hold on. Let me finish.
I got you.
LSU is loaded. They ran the ball effectively, not great, but effectively, and their defense was much improved. They only gave up 31 rushing yards. Is that right? Defense.
I think they had probably more than 30.
Defense. LSU's defense looked much improved, though. Much improved. That was a big question mark. But my main thing is Nussmeier. I should have never picked Klubnik. I did it because I thought they were going to have a big year in the ACC. I do still think he has a big year, but you're right. He cannot tie his cleats.
You
know, he can't do it.
I touched on it last week, and I think you kind of felt the same way, Charlie. But Nussmeier, as far as from a pro prospect, guys, now I got to see more from DJ Lagway. Like I just said last week, if you told me to give me one player to start a team with today, I'd take Nussmeier. Now I like the upside of DJ Lagway, but if you gave me one player today of what I've seen, I would take Nussmeier, and I said that last week. But I'm with you, Charlie. They looked awesome. I mean, did you think so, Josh? The offensive line.
Clemson had 31 rushing yards.
31 rushing yards. And that's what Klubnik, who's a decent rusher, the place was rocking. It was a cool atmosphere.
It loved it. I sent Charlie some pictures, or maybe I just put them out online. But just like I talked about, the orange, the purple, the yellow, that was college football.
It was.
Saturday night.
That's a cool place, guys. I tell you, the offensive line really held up.
And that's what we talked about last week. We didn't know if LSU's offensive defensive line was going to translate with all these guys from the portal. And
they sure did.
They picked the right players. They picked the right players.
That's what you got to do, guys. That is what you got to do. You're seeing it over college football. You're hearing other people, other podcasts, other shows talk about it. When you bring in these portal players, you got to hit on them. Even with like Kentucky and Louisville, 2 hometown teams. You're going to hit on some players some years, and you're not going to hit. When you hit, you're going to look good. When you don't hit, you're going to be in for a long season. It's not like you develop people through your pipeline no more and you kind of know what you got. You're rolling the dice every year when you go to that portal, but that's the name of the game now.
It's a new ball game.
To hold Clemson to 10 points is impressive.
Yeah.
At home.
So that was all our main takeaways. Guys, with doing this podcast, we put ourselves out there a lot. We say a lot of shit. We put out our predictions and picks for these games, give our opinions, put it out there for everybody to hear. Sometimes we're right. Sometimes we're wrong. If we were right every time, we wouldn't be sitting here doing this podcast. We'd be millionaires winning bets left and right. So some of our picks, some of our predictions, our takes, they feel like home runs. And then sometimes you look back at a pick or a prediction or something you said, and it feels like a fumble or a turnover. And you're like, what the hell was I thinking?
I've heard a lot of podcasters talk about that. That's why
it is what it is. You can't get them all right.
That's what makes it fun, right?
And we say a lot of stuff. We're going to get some right. We're going to get some wrong.
Absolutely.
So we're going to go ahead and do our touchdowns and fumbles.
We're going to make that a segment of the show,
right? We'll make it our touchdowns and fumbles. I'll go ahead and start. My touchdown, I said Alabama would struggle this year. I was right about that. It is It is not Sweet Home Alabama right now. It's trouble in paradise. The coach squarely on the hot seat. Josh said he was going to be the first one to be fired. I don't know if that's going to happen, but my man's seat is flaming after week 1.
Can you put it like with the coach having to show up for practice every day and stuff? Is there any way to put him in witness protection every day after practice?
They're going to have to do something.
We're going to kill that son of a bitch.
Yeah, and the quarterback, look, I thought he played bad. Alabama threw the ball 43 times. That's not Alabama football. I don't think it ever has been Alabama football.
You know what's crazy about it? That first drive they scored that touchdown, they ran the ball 12 out of 16 times. And then that worked all the way down the field 12 out of 16 times. And then they totally abandoned the running game.
Yeah, I mean, that's just not Alabama football.
No,
I've never known them to be throwing the ball around like that. So pound the rock. The coach is on the hot seat. Is the quarterback the right guy or not? I don't know, but they look like they're going to struggle this year. Where I fumbled was I picked Alabama to dog walk Florida State, not just beat them. I said they were going to beat the brakes off of them. I was wrong. I will eat crow. Florida. Not only do I think that Alabama has issues that I just highlighted, but I do think that Florida State looked much improved. The Castellanos kid, he is a playmaker. I'm still not sold on him, so I'm not eating crow on that yet. He had a good game. He didn't throw for many yards. I only think he threw like 13 or 14 times, but he did good on the ground, 70 or 80 yards. He's a playmaker. Not sold on him, but I was wrong. Florida State's got a better team, and I should not have picked Alabama to beat.
No. They hit. You know, we thought Norvell's a big portal guy every year. We just talked about it. You're going to hit years. You're going to miss.
He must
missed
have
last year. He hit with that big group a couple years ago with all those boys we talked about last week. It looks like he hit this week, but it's just week 1. But if you had me to bet, it looked like he hit to me.
That was a big
Alabama can still be good. Maybe Florida State's a freak.
That was a great win for Florida State after going 2-10.
Let me ask you this. Kalen DeBoer is not sleeping good. But don't you think Mike Norvell probably had his best night's sleep in a long time?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that was my first coach fired.
So
and he is probably – his seat just cooled off.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, DeBoer, Josh might have hit that one too. So, Josh, what was your big touchdown this week?
My big touchdown, South Carolina over Virginia Tech in Atlanta.
You nailed both of them on Sunday. You had them and Miami.
And then I had Notre Dame, Miami. I wasn't going to brag about it again since I already talked about it. Don't want to piss I want to keep these Notre Dame fans listening. So I'm going to go on to my Virginia Tech Hokies, who took in a big L from Sellers and the Dork Beamer in the Beamer Bowl in Atlanta. But pretty proud of that.
Yeah, it was a good pick. South Carolina looked good. Sellers looked good. They're still overrated, and their coach is still a dork. But they did win. I actually like Virginia Tech didn't look bad.
They did.
They didn't look bad, and their quarterback, I think he didn't end up with any touchdowns, and he might have had a pick or two, but he's a pretty good little playmaker.
I mean, when they returned, there was a punt return in that game. So I think Virginia Tech was actually a little better than I thought they would be.
I still don't know anybody's name.
I mean, either. And then I guess my fumble was, I picked Alabama too, but also I loved Clemson. Not going to steal Anthony's thunder if that's his fumble, but LSU was just better than I thought they were going to be.
No doubt. There's no doubt. Hey, LSU, no doubt. I'm not saying they surprised nobody because a lot of people had them ranked high, but for years, LSU's defense that's been the best part of their team. I'm talking about when I was growing up, LSU struggled having offense. Well, the past 3 years has been opposite. Their offenses have been elite with Jake Daniels, even last year with Nussmeier, but their defenses have been non-existent. And you had the question marks replacing all those offensive linemen on such a good offensive line. You know, I really thought with Clemson having 2 freaks up front that they were going to get to them. Dude, they held up.
They did.
They held up, gave Nussmeier time to cook on the opposite end of it, being able to do what they did with their defense. They looked elite out there. They controlled the line of scrimmage with them defensive linemen. You know, Clemson might have some questions at offensive line, but even with the blitz packages they put together, look, I'm not taking up for Klubnik because I'm going to knock him here in a second. But, man, they were on his ass, son. They were on his ass. Pressure versus non-pressure will make a guy look totally different. It just will.
So what was your touchdown?
My touchdown, I think, was just you want to call it evaluation, my perception of the quarterbacks around college football. I think I hit it. I touched on my, sleeper with Jackson Arnold for Heisman. Had a really good game against Baylor. Led them to victory over there. Arch, I think he's good. I told everybody they need to tap on the brakes. Like to see him, use the running game. I thought I was right there. Klubnik. If anybody watches this show, I've been a hater of Klubnik forever. I finally was starting to buy in a little bit, and this week happened. I was right the whole time. I mean, yeah, I was kind of buying into their team because they were so good, but I've never thought that boy has really been that good. At a high school, he had a good ranking, but I've always kind of been selling that guy, Nussmeier. Feel like I was right on him. So I feel like I was right on a lot of the quarterback situations out there. But the thing that I was wrong about was Alabama. I was going
You're
to touch
all
on
wrong about Alabama.
the question marks. I was going to touch on LSU because they surprised me with their offensive line and defense, but I never thought that they weren't good. I just had questions there, and I thought questions against a very solid Clemson team. Dude, the score didn't show as I thought they dominated them more than what the score showed. LSU, they had that touchdown called back with Barryon Brown. That was a touchdown.
That was a
Yeah,
touchdown.
it
That was a
was.
touchdown, and I'm glad it got called back.
We're going to get into
for
this one
Clemson.
day about my opinions on reviews in college
It
football.
is
We're not going
crazy.
to do it this week, but when we have a segment, I need to go
Kentucky
off.
had one too.
Yes.
In the first quarter, was it the first drive? It was the first drive of the game. The big long pass down the sideline. To me, I was at a baseball field watching, but it looked like a catch. They came out and said it was no catch. I don't know. You saw it from at home.
Yeah,
what did you think?
It was.
Was it a no catch?
If you can analyze every catch, and if the ball's going to move a little, and you
If there's not
slow
clear,
it down to
it's
1,000 times per second, you can see movement. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I know.
it's I'll say this. I agree with everything Charlie said about Alabama, Caleb and Boyd. We've talked about this, and we are really on the same page with this. I've talked about this pretty much all the offseason, and then I jumped on Alabama because I just thought, man, they got so much talent. He's getting his offensive coordinator back. Like, I was not for Caleb DeBoer at first because I thought they're bringing this West Coast guy out to the Southeast, to the South. And I heard another podcast talk about this, and, he touched on it. I was like, he's been listening to Blitz the Bookie because I've been hollering about this for a while. You can't just take a West Coast guy and bring him into the Deep South. Even when you travel out west or you travel up to the Northeast versus traveling to the South, nothing against the Northeast, the West, or the South. It's just different, guys. We've even had people call us hillbilly. It's just different. Where you live, it becomes a part
We
of your
are
culture.
hillbillies,
Yeah,
guys.
That's right. That's right.
The culture, the mentality.
Nick Saban was in your face. People were scared of this guy. And then you get this Kalen DeBoer coming here. He had won everywhere he went, but he come in as a player's coach. Last year, they struggled with penalties, struggled with discipline. This game, they had 8 penalties for like 75 yards and some penalties that really hurt. The offensive tackle that transferred out to Nebraska, rules. That's what he said. He said he had discipline problems. So Alabama, Kalen DeBoer, it's just not a good fit. I don't think it's going to work. I do think they got some talent. They can still salvage their season. They might have a good season. But something's going to have to change because you can definitely tell there's no discipline there. And I think that's what Alabama fans want.
All right, couple quick notes before we get to our games. I just saw these. I thought they were kind of a little fun fact. Every college football team that Lee Corso coached or played for all won this week. Did you hear that? It was Florida State, Maryland, Navy, Louisville, Indiana, Northern Illinois.
Yeah,
all won.
Didn't my dude pick Florida State this year? Didn't he pick Florida State in that game?
He did.
My dude picked
Who
Florida
did?
State. Corso.
Yeah, Corso picked Florida.
Oh, did he?
I think
Well, of
everything-
course.
Yeah, he was the only one on the panel that picked it.
14-point underdogs. Hey,
I
Corso
thought that
went
was-
out with a bang.
I thought that was pretty cool.
I was going to say it earlier, but we kind of got off the Corso.
Did you see that? You
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that was cool. One more fun fact. This pertains to our game of the week. Game of the week, Michigan at Oklahoma. Oklahoma is the only state to have an official meal. Every state's got a flag, a flower, on site. They got a meal.
Meat, potato.
It's 11 items. Chicken
Damn.
fried steak with sausage gravy, barbecue pork, fried okra, squash, cornbread, grits, black-eyed peas, biscuits with sausage gravy, pecan pie, and strawberries. Could you eat it all?
That's right. That's my kind of food.
That's a lot of food. I don't really like fried okra, squash, grits, black-eyed peas, but I'm down for everything else. What about you? You eating that whole meal?
I like everything, and I like squash. Fried okra, it's more of a
I don't think I've ever had it.
Just
it's
mix
more-
it together with the steak. It'll taste good.
And I'm not a big fried steak guy, but I could handle it. I could give it a shot. Sounds like an old Huber's Winery buffet on Easter or something.
Kentucky needs a meal. Oklahoma, the only state with a meal. Just thought it was a fun fact.
I like
that. Game of the week
No, it is. I
coming
like
up
it.
soon. All right, guys, let's get right into it. First game, Friday, James Madison at the Louisville Cardinals. Anthony,
Louisville played EKU. Hard to judge them on that game. Of course, they score big. Fans love it because they think all things are great. But at the same, it's EKU. They just don't have talent. Like those level of teams have no talent. I think Louisville and anybody else can beat those teams by as much as they want. Louisville look good. The questions with Louisville is their offense and defensive line. EKU wasn't going to, they don't have the guys to make that look bad. So for me, that's the question mark. I'm not a big James Madison guy.
I don't think we learned much in this game. You said it was going to take 3 or 4 weeks. I think this is the game this week that we learn. I will say this, Louisville's offensive line, most starts in college football.
Nice.
That's a good stat to have. Miller Moss, he played okay, but I will say this, he had 2 interceptions late. Did you watch any of this game?
I was flipping back and forth a little bit. I mean, it was, at one point it was 40, I think it was 41-0.
They were up
I
big.
predicted 42-0 at the half.
He had 2 interceptions late in the first half, both in the last minute. The first one was intercepted by Vito Tisdale.
Oh, yes.
Remember that guy?
Yes, I do.
Former Kentucky player. Yeah, pick 6. And then like 2 plays later, Miller Moss picked off again by Vito Tisdale.
I didn't know he got both.
Snappy Roots.
Yes, the guy from Nappy Root's son. So Miller Moss, he did play okay, but in the 2-minute drill, 2 late picks, maybe that's a question. But look, we didn't learn much about them. I do kind of like James Madison. I know I told you that. What do you think about this matchup, Josh?
James Madison, they put up 45 points against Weber State.
Yeah.
Same deal.
Louisville's
hard to know.
You got Brown for Louisville. He had 126 yards. And
that kid's good.
He is a monster.
That kid is good.
I think that is going to be, I don't even think Louisville's got to throw the ball. Miller Moss doesn't have to be great to beat James Madison. But if this dude's running for 126 yards, probably on 11 carries, it's going to be a tough day for James Madison.
I like James. I'm telling you, don't sleep on him. Look, here's a little interesting fact about James Madison. Their quarterback is this guy, Alonzo Burnett, but their backup quarterback is Matthew Sluka. Do you know who that is?
Matthew Sluka, no, I do not.
He's the kid that started the first like 3 games for UNLV last year.
Oh, yeah.
And was on fire.
Yes.
And then
He said he didn't get paid the money.
Because he said he didn't get what he was promised by UNLV.
And there was arguments about that he bullshitted that. Some people said he didn't.
He started his career at Holy Cross. James Madison's coach was the coach at Holy Cross. So watch out for the Sluka kid to get in. He's really good. He had 2,500 yards, 26 touchdowns, 4 picks in his like sophomore or junior year at Holy Cross, and 1,200 rushing yards and 11 touchdowns. The kid is a playmaker, but he didn't play in week 1. So I'm not sure if he's going to get in, but I think at some point for James Madison, you're going to see the Sluka kid, and I think he's the better of the quarterbacks. He might get in this week. And if he does, watch out.
National news, breaking alert. Anthony will be pulling for the University of Louisville.
What?
Yes, sir.
What?
I read and really kept up with that situation a little bit. Just wasn't familiar with the name when you said it. I think that kid's full of shit. I think he did that to save his red shirt. And I think that they offered him amount of money.
He was having a good year, though, and they were 3-0 and looking good. So,
that's why I'm explaining to you. It's because he has 1 year of eligibility left, and if he would have kept playing, he would have been done. He's not an NFL guy. I think he was having a good year, and somebody got in his ear, I guess James Madison, and said, if you come to us next year.
Yeah, it was his former coach.
Yeah, we'll pay you this much money right here. And I think he thought to himself, I don't blame the kid. But I think it's a shitty thing to do. And I might be wrong on this, but I think he told himself, I think they said at UNLV he was making $100,000. That's what he said they didn't pay him there wasn't an agreement or something. I think somebody got in his ear. And
his former coach got in his ear.
Yeah, but that's what I don't like about the portal is this is the worst part. If it's the way I think it went down, and I might be wrong, that's the ugliest part about it. Quitting on your team just to save your red shirt so you can go make more money somewhere else when you committed to your team for the year.
He was a finalist for the Walter Payton Award a couple years ago. I'm telling you, the kid's good.
Yeah.
Watch out for him if he gets in.
He's got to get in.
Matthew Sluka. All right, next game, Iowa at Iowa State. Early rivalry game. I actually kind of like Iowa State, but Iowa is one of the most boring teams.
Well, they got a second-year offensive coordinator here. They got a new quarterback, Mark Gronkowski.
Yeah, he Threw for 44 yards last week.
Yeah, hey,
He's dual threat guy.
they grind.
44 yards last
He was
week.
grinding. They didn't need him to throw for 45.
They're
They only
not gonna
need him to
show
throw
their
for
hand.
44
Yeah.
to get the win.
They did rush for 310
Yes.
yards.
You're a dumb coach if you show your hand against one of those teams when you got a good team.
So, but that guy, he's from San Diego State. He won 2 titles at the FCS level.
Who's that?
The quarterback for Iowa.
He's a dual threat guy.
44 yards
I love it. I love it.
against
Hey,
Albany.
I love it.
I think it
I
fits.
love him.
I think it fits who they are.
Yeah.
Like, to me, if you're a defensive team, I want that out of Kentucky. If you're a defensive team that's going to run the ball and Brian wins out, you want a dual threat guy. So yeah, I like that angle. I do.
But it's at Iowa State. But I do want to. I'm actually, when I first looked at this game, I was like, oh man, this looks boring. But I started reading up on that QB. I know he threw for 44 yards last week. But hey, he's 2-time national title at the FCS level. Let's see what he can do against the big guys.
But let's talk about the real quarterback in this game, Rocco Beck. My man is 2-0 already with a win over Kansas State last week against South Dakota, the mighty South Dakota. What are they? I don't know. 19 for 20.
That's your boy. Boy from
They the Jackrabbits or something?
No, Philadelphia. The Carson Wentz.
Oh, Carson Wentz. Hey, Rocco Beck, 19 for 20. That's pretty good percentage right there, isn't it?
It's almost
Rocco's
all of them.
good.
Almost all of them. 278 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's got 2 wide receivers on the Biletnikoff watch list. They got the better quarterback. Look, we know what this game's going to be. I was going to try to pound the ball. They had 300 rushing yards and 44 passing. We know what Iowa is. That's what they've always been. They're going to try to pound the ball. But Iowa State's they only gave up 82 rushing yards last game. This is going to be a ground and pound game. Ugly, especially on Iowa's part. Iowa State, they'll put up some points. I can't stand Iowa football. Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, take them and get rid of them. What you like in this matchup? You like this type of football. He loves Iowa.
I like Iowa State. I like Iowa.
I like Iowa State. I don't put Iowa State in Iowa's category. They're a little more exciting.
I don't bet against, if you follow the show much, I do not pick against Matt Campbell much. I'm a big Matt Campbell guy. Actually, I think he started at Toledo, if I remember correctly. He's the one that kind of got the Toledo run going they've had here. But anyhow, Iowa, look, Coach France, he's old school guy. A very old school guy. He ain't showing his hand in that first game. He just that's not their style. Dual threat quarterback. Iowa State, always a tough matchup. That game might not mean a lot here. It might not even mean a lot nationally. But in the Midwest, the Iowa State matchup's a big match. And Iowa always has good football. You can say what you want. Iowa State traditionally has a solid little team, and Iowa, like them or not, boring or not, they're usually tough to beat. Should be a tough matchup. We'll make our picks here in a bit on it. One, maybe it's even still going through my mind a little bit because I went back and forth with this game, but we'll talk more on it in a minute.
Next game, Baylor at SMU. Baylor, Sawyer Robinson, 419 yards, 3 touchdowns against Auburn, and was not enough. SMU to me, it does not excite me. I think I said that in our college football preview. They're not a team that excites me. They only won 21-3 against East Texas A&M. Barely outgained them by like 20 yards. I think Baylor looked good against Auburn. They just were outmatched. But Sawyer Robertson put up some big-time numbers.
He did. He looked good. And then I think SMU quarterback Kevin Jennings, dark horse for the Heisman, they say. He's got a lot to prove. I think Baylor's going to want this game a little bit more. Fun fact about this game, it's on the CW at noon.
Right after Dawson's Creek?
So right after the series finale of Dawson's Creek, you find out, does Joey get with Dawson?
Don't spoil it.
Or Pacey?
Don't
so
spoil
you can find out before.
What kind of pussy shit are we talking?
You can find out before
Anthony
Baylor.
don't know nothing about it.
You can find out before Baylor and SMU who does Joey Potter end up with, Dawson.
This is a sports podcast, boys. We ain't talking about
real quick question. Maybe one of you two can answer this. I seen running back for SMU, Chris Johnson Jr.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that Chris Johnson the one we're thinking of from the Titans?
Odds are high.
I don't think so.
I
mean, it could be.
I have no clue. I don't know. I
know he transferred from Miami.
Somebody tell us if Chris Johnson Jr., the running back for SMU, is the Chris Johnson from remember
Titans.
that guy? He was fast as
shit. He ran for almost was it CJ2K?
Where did he go to school?
Was it was like wasn't it like East Carolina?
Yeah, no,
it was.
East Carolina.
Good call.
Yeah, that's exactly where it was. Anthony, what you thinking about the old SMU Baylor matchup?
Look, I feel different than you do about SMU. I think last year they were really good. I know they ran into Penn State.
You didn't say that last year.
Well, I thought they were good. I thought they were good. I just thought I was really high on Penn State. Jennings, I think he's a good quarterback. The Pony Express is back. It's legal to pay players now. Everybody knows about the 30 for 30 where they got in trouble back in the day for paying the players. Now it's legal. The Pony Express is back. They're pumping in the players. They're spending some money. They have really good DBs, two of the best safeties in the country back there. At corner, they got a returning starter at corner. Their defensive backfield should be good, which I think they'll need because I watched the Baylor Auburn game. And yes, I picked Auburn last week and I felt good about that win because I'll be honest with you, watching Baylor's offense, they look legit. They look legit.
I thought they did.
Auburn was just a better team. And I'm really high on Auburn. So that tells you there. Now, Baylor's defense, it's got to do a little bit more. How much pressure will Jennings be able to put on them? That's the question. I think this is a matchup game. Okay. Those DBs versus Baylor's great passing offense. And then on the other end, you got Baylor's defense, which has struggled at times against Jennings. So I think it's all about who wins those two matchups and who's able to kind of assert themselves through those matchups. There's strengths and weaknesses on both teams, and who wins those matchups or who can hold the other one closer in that department.
Before we move on, Baylor only had one sack versus Auburn and gave up 300 yards on the ground and 3 touchdowns.
I really expected, and I should have known.
And I guess 150 or 170 of that was from Jackson Arnold because he went off on the ground.
You got Jackson Arnold, and you have those receivers. Coleman, Singleton, Horton. I mean, that receiver room is freaking loaded. And I guess I expected Auburn to come out and really kind of spread it out. And I just seen a lot of RPO stuff and just a lot of not what I expected to see. I really thought they would air it out more. But whatever they did, it worked because maybe you do that and then you have those weapons out there. And when you need them, they're there. But if you can establish that run, maybe that's the juice. So
300 yards, that's crazy.
That's a lot.
Next game, Oklahoma State at Oregon. We did talk about this, I think, pre-show. I'm not sure if it was on I think it was before the show. Oklahoma State's quarterback broke his foot. He's out 3 to 4 weeks. Their backup did come in, and he went 13 for 20 for 131 yards, so I don't know who he is, but he came in and did okay. They won 27-7, but I think that's going to be an issue for Oklahoma State going into Oregon because Oregon was on fire. Guys, I know we didn't talk about Oregon's game last week because who'd they play? Nobody, New Mexico, I don't know who they played.
Something state.
But I'll tell you, that was one of the games that I bet that we didn't talk about, and I was all over Oregon, and they smashed them. What do you think about the matchup, Josh? I mean, I think they're in over their head.
I mean, it's a 28.5 point spread.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I looked it up before we got here.
It's about right.
Oregon's just going to score a lot of points, and having to go to Oregon with your second-string quarterback is not a good thing with an offense that the Ducks got.
I really thought that Oklahoma State would thrive in the NIL era. I really did. Everybody knows about T. Boone Pickens. Phil's named after him. Oh, man, they got money at Oklahoma State. And that guy pumps a lot of money in that football program. That family does. I really thought they would thrive in the NIL era, and they just have it. Dan Lanning, I consider him, Kirby Smart, maybe a couple other guys here or there, the best coaches in football.
He's one of my favorite coaches.
Yeah,
I love Dan Lanning. I'm not a huge Oregon fan for some reason. I don't know why, but I love Dan Lanning.
I got an Oregon hoodie. I've always been an Oregon fan.
See, I'm not.
They got the Nike money, of course. They got the number 1 transfer in the portal, the big Isaiah World kid from Nevada, offensive tackle. Evan Stewart, of course, got hurt this summer, so that was a big blow to Oregon. But they did bring in the number 1 wide receiver recruit in all the country. He's coming out of high school. I think his last name is Moore. And they got other weapons. It wasn't just Evan Stewart that they were anticipating. And I really like this quarterback.
Yeah, he's good.
Dante Moore. He's the transfer from UCLA. He was a 5-star kid.
18 for 23, 213 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Looks like Baylor's doing a little running back by committee right now. They ran about 2 or 3 guys, and I think their leading rusher only had 10 rushes. So
they're all about the pass game, baby. They're all about the pass game.
They'll figure it out, though.
Yeah.
They always got a good running back, too. I feel like they always get.
Are you talking about Oregon or are you talking about Baylor?
Oregon.
Okay, I thought you said
Did I say Baylor?
You did say Baylor.
Did I say Baylor?
I think Oregon's running game will be just fine. Their offensive lines is good. Look, guys, at Oregon, just anticipate they're going to be good every year. Almost like Georgia. You got a good coach. You got money behind you. If they don't have the players, they're going to go get the players. I don't think money's an object at Oregon. So my expectations of Oregon this year is they're going to be competing for a national title. I
Two
mean,
block punts too.
Yeah.
Oregon's gonna be tough as always, especially at home at night too. This is a 3:30 game, so it doesn't matter. That's a tough trip for them.
Yeah, so it's probably noon in Oregon.
All right, next game, Ole Miss traveling to Lexington to take on our Kentucky Wildcat. We'll get in depth in this game in the second half of the show, the right side of Kentucky sports. But this is one of the top games of the week. I tried to find the top ones. This is one of them.
It's the only SEC versus SEC opponent game out there.
It is. It's
the only one.
Well, you got number 21. I'm going to tell you, with Kentucky beating Toledo was anywhere from, some people had them as high as, like, I think I seen 24 and then 125. Some people had them as low as 50, but they're somewhere in there. I feel like we were never in doubt to beat them. So the point I'm making is Kentucky should probably be somewhere around that 30-ish mark. So 30-ish versus 21 for this early in the season, I think it's a good matchup.
I think the spread's what, 10?
9.5 is what I checked before we got here.
Kentucky with we have 85 passing yards. That worries me, especially about to play Ole Miss, who, you know how many total yards they put up last week? I know they were playing Georgia State, but I don't even care. You know how many total yards? Take a guess.
Put up a lot. I know Simmons threw for a lot. 500.
Take a guess.
I'll say 494.
695.
It'd take us a month at Kentucky.
600. They had 400 passing yards and 295 rushing yards.
Who they played? The Sisters of the
They
Poor?
played Georgia State, but I'm saying
that sounds like Kipling. That sounds like you can get as many yards as you want against some of those teams.
All right, well, let me tell you,
keeps the gas down.
Kentucky won this game against Ole Miss last year, 20-17. Lane Kiffin's going to want to put up 1,400 yards on Kentucky this week. I don't like that our offense. Look, we ran the ball well. We had 220 rushing yards. So this is kind of like Iowa State and Iowa to me. You know what Mark Stoops is going to do. He's going to try to pound the ball. Ole Miss gave up only 70 passing yards to Georgia State, but they gave up almost 200 rushing yards. We had 200 rushing yards, 220 rushing yards. And what does Mark Stoops love to do?
He loves to run the ball.
We're going to run them, pound the shit out of the rock. We'll probably have 65 passing yards. We just got to hope that our defense can hold them from 695 to maybe like 495, and you still probably be in trouble. But you know what it's going to be. We're going to pound the rock and hope to shut down their offense with a stout defense. I mean, our defense looked all right, but I don't know, man. This is scary for me. I want to be optimistic. I really do, but 700 freaking yards.
I got some stats here I'll use more later in the second half of the show, but talking about Kentucky and the QB play. But I think our linebackers are good. If we can force them to throw the ball and we can attack the quarterback and get to him, I think we could slow them down. But it's going to be a big task for Kentucky.
I walked away from the Kentucky game happy. I really did. I walked away happy. I knew what we were going to be this year. I said it on the show before. It just, people are not attracted to it. They're not attracted to running, grinding football. We didn't even have Wilcox there, which is,
he ain't going to be there for a while.
I know, but he's really good out of the backfield with pass catching. But you had Dodwell, you had Seth McGowan. Look, I think people hear that name Toledo, and they just don't think we played a good team. I think including y'all. Y'all say that about the
y'all
passing.
they were number one in the MAC. Five all MAC players.
But I'm just saying, like, when we hear it, I've been guilty of it. And I've had to tell myself, Anthony, Toledo's a good ball club. This is not an EKU.
They're good enough to outgain us because they outgained us.
Yes. But I'm going to tell you, I never thought the game was in doubt. I thought we controlled the game. I'm not saying we dominated it because we didn't dominate it, but I loved how we ran the ball. We had a lot of new pieces. We were able to get a win with all those new pieces. I think we'll only get better. And if Zach Calzada don't do it, then it's Cutter Bowley time. But what I did like about Zach Calzada is, I'm not saying he had a million plays, but he got us some hard yards a couple times that when we needed it for first downs. And there was some stuff that was called back that would have helped the yardage and stuff like that.
He looked like a Heisman candidate on the first drive. He dropped 3 dimes on the first drive.
Remember this, guys. We are not going to be a passing ball club. And I touched on this, I don't know if it was last week during the show or during the right side of Kentucky sports, but Law from Alabama, physical specimen. had came in with the reputation of being a great blocker. Dude, he was blocking you don't see wide receivers do that to people. His forearms are that big. We're gonna be a running football team. We're gonna be physical. We're gonna be nasty. Win or lose, that's what we're gonna be, and I think our passing game can be decent. Of course, I'm hoping Toledo is really good, but we'll see with time, and we'll predict it, and we'll talk more about this game on the right side of Kentucky sports.
So let's get to the game of the week, guys. Michigan, number 14 at number 18, Oklahoma. I went back and forth with the game of the week, and I thought it was either this or Kentucky and Ole Miss.
That's not.
I really
It
did.
don't get tough until the conference play starts. You get a few games,
Yeah,
even last week was top heavy.
This is kind of a slow week, in my opinion.
Well, it's for conference play. You
So-
got to play your cupcakes.
Yeah, this one should be a good matchup. We got the freshman phenom, Bryce Underwood, going on his first road trip here to Oklahoma. Going to be a tough first road environment for my man. He did all right, 21 for 31, 251 yards and a touchdown. He only had 2 rushes for -5 yards.
He didn't run. I thought he started off hot at the beginning of the game, and then the game kind of got weird.
They want him to be a passer. Them games, you just can't take much to him.
Is he not? Is he not like a
No,
dual
he can
threat
move.
guy?
No, he can move.
Yeah, he can move.
He can move.
But he
It's
just
just,
didn't
he
take
was.
off any.
guys, I think you're an idiot if you just go in there with the mindset in those games just to blow those teams out. You work on stuff in those games. Maybe they know he's got his wheels. They need to work on his passing game. You're crazy if you go into those games against those cupcakes and just try to score as many points as you can. I think you are anyways.
I thought that opening drive for Michigan against New Mexico, he looked awesome. I mean, he got comfortable, threw a nice slant over the middle, just really moved the ball down the field. I thought he looked really good. And then the game kind of slowed up. Maybe New Mexico made some adjustments, but I like the way he looked.
Yeah, I mean, he 21 for 31. That's pretty good. Pretty good debut. Oklahoma, of course, Brent Venables, very, very tricky defensive coordinator. He is one of the best defensive coordinators, I'd say, in the country.
They had a lot of injuries last year. They literally lost everybody.
Who'd they play last week? Illinois State?
Yes.
They only gave up 34 passing yards. So what, I think Venables, I think the matchup, the defensive coordinator against the freshman phenom quarterback on the road is going to be a matchup to watch. Can he trick the freshman into making some mistakes on the road? Oklahoma's quarterback, he looked good. That's a kid from Washington State.
me,
He had to get out of the pack too.
Right.
He said, "Get me out of the pack too."
To me, he's the biggest question mark in all of college football. Look,
Mateer?
there's some people that, dude, they're stupid high on this kid. I mean, I'm not saying they're wrong. I haven't watched Washington State enough last year. He's a dual threat guy. He was a huge get in the portal. He brings his offensive coordinator with him. Been together 2 years. Oklahoma replaces some guys on that defense, but they replaced them with some players. They hit the portal hard. They had some guys that got injured last year. But, Venables, however you say his name, I really think he's setting on a good year. A lot of it's going to come down to how good is this Mateer kid coming from Washington State, playing in the SEC, and of course, the mystery of Oklahoma. Will they be able to protect him? Will they be able to run the ball? There's a lot of people that are really high on Oklahoma. And on the other side, you got Bryce Underwood, Michigan trying to reload that defense. And, they got a lot of good young players that they're ready to do that. Harbaugh set the tone for what Michigan football can be. And I think that they're using that energy and momentum into the recruiting world. And Michigan is once again a high level name. They had not fallen off. They were still Michigan. But when I was a kid, Michigan was big time. Michigan's been big time since the beginning of college football, guys. And then over the last 10 to 15 years before Harbaugh got there, they just couldn't find their guy. Michigan football is definitely a household name, a brand name. Michigan has money behind them. They're going to recruit. They're going to get players. There's no doubt in my mind they could have beat that team by 50 if they wanted to. And I believe that's any team that plays those level of teams. I think when you're betting those games, you're trying to determine how long are they going to keep the gas on for.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my theory on it. We'll talk more about the pick in a minute. I think it's a very interesting matchup with a good young quarterback and John Mateer coming in from Washington State.
Quick note on that game. Sharon Moore, coach of Michigan, he played at Oklahoma.
Really?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Played at Oklahoma. So, and I think it's a little interesting bounce back year for both of these teams. Michigan was 8-5 last year after winning the national championship the year before. Oklahoma was 6-7 last year after being in the Big 12 conference championship game the year before that. So big bounce back year for both of these teams.
It's at the Big House or Oklahoma?
It's at Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Night game,
Yep.
Saturday night. All right, guys, we'll make our college football picks right after we do our NFL previews, and we're going to do our NFL picks first, right?
Yes.
We'll come back with the college picks at the end of the show. All right, so NFL is back. I love the NFL. You got Saturday and Sunday this week. Cannot wait. We're jumping right into the games. Thursday, starting off with a big one. Well, it's going to look big before the game starts, but it won't take long for it to look not big. Dallas at Philly, the returning champs at home, facing a first-time head coach with a defense last year ranked 31st in points allowed. What do y'all think about this game? Yeah, look, I know they're hyping it up because Dallas, the Cowboys' name.
America's team.
Get out of here. They have not been America's team for a long time. Big task in front of the first-time head coach. Schottenheimer, is that right? Is it Marty? It's not Marty.
Brian Schottenheimer.
Brian.
Yeah, it's not
Brian.
Marty.
I didn't know.
Marty was the Charger.
I know Marty. Yeah, Marty. Yeah, no, I didn't know if his son was Marty too. Yeah, big task. What do you think?
It is a big task, but this is the type of goofy game in the NFL that surprises you. Divisional game, opening night. It sucks that Dallas, 31st ranked defense last year, trades the best pass rusher maybe in the NFL.
I know, and they lost.
That seems like that you're going the wrong way.
Parsons traded just a couple of days ago.
He won a lot of money, boys. He won a lot of money.
He
and
did.
I mean, it just might not have worked in what they believe.
But
I'm not saying it did or it didn't.
They got draft picks, and you can build on that. You can trade those to upgrade to something else. But this is one of those NFL games, opening week, where something happens you just don't think is going to happen.
Well, Anthony, what do you think? I know you love Dallas and you hate Philly. So what you got to say on this game?
Look, I don't hate Philly.
He fucking hates Philly.
Charlie, at the end of the year, I was all in on Philly. I thought they were the best team.
Hey, if you're from Philly, he calls you scumbags.
No, it ain't that. I don't mind Philly's team. I like a lot of their players. I think Jalen Hurts is way overrated. I just do. It's nothing against their team. I'm just not a Jalen Hurts guy, which makes it sound like I don't like Philly. I was all in on them in the year. That's who I rolled into the, picked, and I won some money on Philly. So I think they're very good. I'm an offensive defensive line guy. So if I don't like Philly, I'm crazy. Of course, they did lose Mekhi Beckman, lost a couple pass rushers out there with Sweat and the other kid. Man, I shouldn't say kid. They're still going to have a really good year. I just anticipate Dallas having a good year. I know everybody's on Jerry Jones. You let Micah Parsons go. I'm not saying he's right or wrong, but I've touched on it on the show many times. It's not about having the best players. It's about having you got to make it work with inside your salary cap. They could totally be wrong about Micah Parsons, but maybe they just didn't want to spend that much money at that position. I do know with the Packers that he is the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL right now. So that's going to take a big chunk of somebody's salary cap. And I actually heard some analysts really saying that was a bad move by the Packers because, some issues Parsons had. I love Parsons. I think Parsons is a monster, but they played without him a lot due to some injuries and stuff like that. Look, I think Dallas, when they're healthy, is a solid little team. Are they as good as Philly? Maybe not, but that game is in Jerry's world, isn't it? Ain't it down in Dallas?
No,
it's at Philly.
At Philly.
Okay.
Philly.
That's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game for Dallas going on the road in Philly. But I do think Dallas is a lot better than what we think they are. I really think they've had some bad luck over the last couple of years with
I agree
injuries.
with Anthony there on Dallas.
Dak comes back, but look, Dak was not good before he got hurt last year. Career lows before he got hurt in QBR and touchdown to interception ratio. I told y'all, I've been telling y'all, and I've been trying to convince this guy, Dak is not the guy.
He's not.
He's not the guy. And look, get him back, and maybe he'll put up some numbers in the regular season, but I just don't see it. And I think the first-time head coach is the main thing here. Even if he is a good coach, maybe he is, but it'll take some time.
I think it's a big upgrade from where they were. It'd be hard not to be better than the guy before. I just wasn't a fan of it.
All right, well, that's Thursday night, kicks off the season. Then Friday
on YouTube.
On YouTube,
TV. I got that, baby.
Kansas City and the Chargers in Brazil.
Are they really?
They are playing in Brazil.
Don't they say you can't wear certain colors down there because of the game?
Yeah, you got to watch out down there.
What color is Brazil? Is it?
I think Kansas City played their opening game last year in Mexico City or something, didn't they?
Yes.
Didn't they play the opening game last year? I think
so.
They did, and it was in Mexico or something.
That's part of like the NFL's deal to try to expand the league, right?
Yeah.
I mean, really missing out on those Brazil viewerships. I mean, I don't get that at all.
They're trying to
Like,
expand it. They're trying to
yes.
expand it. I don't
They
like
have
it either.
TVs. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, dude, if they told me that I couldn't wear certain colors, they're worried about gangs, I'd just tell them we're not gonna play here
You
no
know
more.
that.
But
Yeah, look, Kansas City, they're coming off getting destroyed in the Super Bowl, so I'm sure their hair is going to be on fire to get back out there. The Chargers, of course, we're a pro Harbaugh podcast. We all love Jim Harbaugh.
do you think they'll have any of the Brazilian girls as cheerleaders, the big
Oh,
booties and
I hope
stuff?
so.
yeah, it'd be.
I hope so.
Usually everybody brings their own players, but maybe they can have a tryout for each team cheerleading squad, bring in some Brazilian girls.
Harbaugh and Herbert, will this be the year that Herbert gets over the hump? It's always tough when they're going out of the country. I think that's just a wild card no matter where you're going. It's tough to travel, and I'm sure their schedules are different than normal game weeks. So you say you think the first game could be one of those wacky games. I think this game could easily be one of them wacky games where something crazy could happen.
And the Chiefs have the last few years have started a little slow, and then you go in. I'm assuming they took the home game away from the Chargers. They wasn't going to take a game from Arrowhead.
I'm not sure about that.
No way they took a game away from Arrowhead. I like both these. I think this is going to be a really good football game. I mean, earlier in the season of Blitz the Bookie, I picked the Chargers to win this division. So if they're going to win the division, this is a game that they're going to need to start the season off with a win.
That's a big one right out of the gate.
I think
Division matchup against the mighty Kansas City. That's a big game. It sucks that week one is actually a big game, but that's big
what's
game.
cool about the NFL. College football, you get a few big games, but it takes a while to kind of get into the big games because you got to play your cupcakes first. But NFL, it's right into action, right into divisional play. But look, I think, and I've done this myself a little bit, but everybody is quick to want to write off the Chiefs. They got lucky in a lot of games last year, and they did. I don't care. I'll go back and we'll go through it, and they were blessed. But they still have a really good defense. I don't think they have to lean on Mahomes as much no more. I don't think maybe the Mahomes in that offense what it once was, but Mahomes is smart and he understands maybe we're just not a high-flying offensive team no more. Maybe we're a team that's going to be physical, grind it out. I mean, hell, they made it to the Super Bowl last year. Xavier Worthy showing signs of life there, the wide receiver from Texas, first-round pick. Of course, they need to get some weapons going on for
His
Mahomes.
number one weapon is a married man now.
Yeah,
engaged man now.
We all know Kelsey was once really good. He had a little bit of a rough year. It could have been because of the Taylor effect. I don't think there's no doubt. The girl's a billionaire. He's trying to, get locked in, so he's good for the rest of his life.
Now.
I think that definitely affected him, but I think the Kelsey family is a football family. I think they're a proud family. And you heard the comments he made that he's going to come back for one more year to try to make things right. I think that bothered. I think people called him out on it. I think he looked himself in the mirror and was like, damn, they're right. It did happen. And even in the championship game, I remember people having all kinds of videos of his plays, and he didn't play crazy hard once they got down. I don't think he liked how he finished the last year. I think this is his last year, and I think he's going to be out to prove something. Whether it's good or bad, I think you're going to get the best of Travis Kelce this year.
I mean, you can't beat Father Time.
No,
I just thought he looked slow last year.
Yeah, but don't you feel like the effort, like
towards the second half
focus and effort? I just feel like he wasn't the dog he was. Kelce used to be a dog.
I know he is, but I think he lost a half a step. He just didn't have that ability to just get himself free like he had in the past.
When you're trying to tie in a billionaire, son, you'd lose a half a step too. He knows what he's doing. He's a chess player. We're checker players.
All right, next game, and we threw this in just because this might be the only time that me and Josh get to talk about our teams. They're playing each other. Miami traveling to Indy. Some wild quarterback rooms, I'll tell you that. Our quarterback, of course, Tua, puts up big numbers. Very consistent quarterback when he's healthy. Everybody knows the story on Tua. It's like every game you watch, every Dolphins game where he plays, a little scary, isn't it?
It is.
You're like, no.
Is this the last hit he ever takes?
It's crazy that I have to watch my team like that. And then you got Josh's quarterback room. It's the bottom of the dumpster.
Daniel Jones is good.
Daniel Jones is good. Anthony Richardson is Anthony's right-hand man over here.
No, I just bought a card.
You better go buy a Daniel Jones card.
I just bought a card because I always did like Anthony Richardson, but when I had that card, I was hoping for the best. But I was always, if you remember, I would say Daniel Jones will be a starter again in the NFL. I said that.
He did.
I called it. He's a starter. Look, Daniel
Don't
Jones.
y'all got Riley Leonard too?
Yes.
Yeah, right. You never know. Riley Leonard
I
might
can't
end
when
up
they're in the
starter.
game, I can't even tell the difference between Riley Leonard and Daniel Jones. They look like the same freaking guy.
I think you're going to see a Darnold type situation. Darnold going from the Jets to the Minnesota with Daniel Jones to Indy. I'm not saying he's going to be all world. He was in a shitty situation up there.
If he gets y'all 6-7 wins and you miss the playoffs and don't get Arch, I'm gonna love it.
That's what happens to the Colts.
Arch ain't going to be
just
a good NFL
enough
quarterback.
to not get better. That's the problem. They're just good enough to not get better.
7-9.
I know what you're saying when you say that, though. I feel like if you're going to be bad, just go ahead.
Right. You get stuck in a vicious cycle of getting like the 21st pick.
Yeah.
Dude, I would take.
You never get the elite guy that you need.
And then if you do get the top pick, it's on an off year where the draft's shitty. I feel like that happens to the Titans. You know, Titans got number 1 pick last year. It wasn't a great, the best draft.
What a QB draft.
Yeah.
But I mean, at Miami always travels really well to Indy. I've been to this game a couple times with him, and I think every time the Dolphins have beat the Colts. So I don't expect too much difference this time.
Look, I like Miami's lineup. Tua stays healthy. Tua grew on me. He really did. I still don't like Tua's long game, but I like his short game, and I love how he's continuing to play when everybody's saying, "Oh, you shouldn't do this." That's that man's life. That's how he makes a living. Back up off him. I get it. He could hurt himself. But Charlie can hurt himself at his job, or you can hurt yourself. That's the risk we all take in what we do to take care of our families. Mad respect for him. He ain't asked for no sympathy. He just wants to get back out there on the football field. I hope nothing happens to him. But if he does, he's trying to make a living for his family. So I don't fault the guy for it. I do think he does some things really well. They got some weapons. Waddle, Tyreek Hill, that Malik Washington.
Still there?
I don't think we've seen his potential. So plenty of weapons. And we all know when Miami is right, dude, we've all sat here and thought, man, are they going to win the Super Bowl? I mean, they put it on Denver either last year or the year before, and we thought they were the Super Bowl champs after that.
What's the date on Sunday? September the 7th?
Yes.
What month?
9.
I heard
September, baby. Dolphins time.
I heard
September.
They thrive.
I love September.
I heard
the water's warm.
Indianapolis is warm.
We play inside. It doesn't matter. Y'all should schedule this game in December.
I heard that the whole Miami football team went up to Siberia this offseason, and they trained in the cold with no shirts on.
Like in Rocky IV.
They did.
I hope so.
They did just like Rocky IV.
Yeah, throwing logs.
Yes.
Please tell
climbing
me
mountains.
I
I
hope you got some inside info
they
on
went
that,
right up to
because that's
Siberia.
exactly what they need to do.
They
Mike
did.
McDaniel can't handle that. It's
Tell me
solid.
this, though. There has never been a better training session than when Rocky fought the Russians. He went up there into that barn, son. Started doing those setups, the fire. The KGB's following him with their binoculars. He climbs the mountain. He comes back all wore out. Adrian them flew in.
Dragon sleds.
Oh, that's the greatest. That's the greatest.
All right, let's jump to the next one. Pittsburgh at the Jets. Aaron Rodgers returns to New York in week 1. What a setup.
What the NFL does.
That is what they do.
Big year for Pittsburgh.
I love it. You know, I'm high on Pittsburgh this year, and I love this matchup. Storylines out the yin yang here. What do you think about it? Yeah, I know you're still buying Aaron Rodgers, Anthony.
Absolutely. I think the guy was an idiot. Look, when you see these guys when they're older career, they go to these teams that are really good. They're smart. You know, Brady goes to Tampa Bay, all-world team. You should when you're older. You know, Manning goes out to Denver. He knew they had an elite defense out there. He knew what he was doing. My boy Aaron Rodgers, son, he thinks so much of himself, he goes to the Jets. Like, dude, nobody makes the Jets good. They need a lot to make the Jets good. And I will even say this, as bad as they were, and they were bad, they were starting to get okay at the end of the year. Totally different situation out of Pittsburgh this year. I think they have an established team out there. Roman Wilson comes back from injury. They get the Hawaiian guy, their first-round draft pick, back. He had missed a lot of the season. A strong defense, a good line. It's a lot more stable team for Aaron Rodgers to work with than that was a mess.
We went from one of the worst organizations in the NFL to one of the best organizations in the NFL.
So we'll see. And he got something to prove. And he got something to prove.
And that's what I was going to say. This isn't even a matchup about teams. This is just a matchup. It's organization versus organization. It doesn't matter who the players are on either side of the field. One team is just run so much better than the other. That's Pittsburgh, in case you guys didn't know.
TJ Watt's a stud.
They're just so much better than what the Jets do.
And new coach in New York, Aaron Glenn, right?
Yep. Quarterback Justin Fields, the starter?
I believe so.
Yep.
So that's a little.
He was a Steeler last year.
Yeah,
That's another
they
angle.
traded quarterbacks.
Yes.
I like
So
their wide receiver room. I like their offensive line. I think they got some good pieces. I really do.
the young first-time coach Aaron Glenn against the vet Mike Tomlin.
If anybody can handle that personality, Tomlin can.
Oh yeah, I think they'll be fine.
He won't try to pull his shit with Tomlin.
All right, next game, another big division matchup. Detroit had the huge year last year, disappointed in the playoffs at Green Bay. Green Bay had a good year last year. NFC North division matchup. What do you think about this game?
Well, I kind of, looking at the game, I kind of wish they would play this game at Detroit and then play the game at Green Bay later, because Green Bay doesn't get an advantage playing at home against a divisional opponent in September. Get Detroit outside when it's cold, but whatever. That's the NFL doing their thing. Detroit, they lost both offense and defensive coordinators, right?
They did.
You get Aiden Hutchinson back after he lost a half a leg.
I think losing Ben Johnson is a big deal.
Losing both your coordinators is a big deal.
Yeah.
And then is Micah Parsons going to play? I kind of seen on the scroll today that he plans to play. So I don't know what that. I mean, I guess it means he plans to play. I don't know why he wouldn't. I don't either. But I didn't know.
Didn't he have some injury stuff going on again, or some back?
I don't think so. I think he was just sitting out.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought he was just.
But
sitting out
I
for
think
the
this
contract.
again. Division games are fun. I like to watch those matchups. These teams know each other. The organizations know each other. They always tend to be really good games, real competitive.
Anthony, what do you think of Jordan Love?
I like him.
You
I like Jordan
Love?
Love. Look, my biggest issue with the Packers is the pass defense. The run defense is good with the Packers.
They're in trouble this week, then. They're in trouble. This is about one of the worst teams that have trouble in the defensive backfield.
I think that's why they brought Micah Parsons in. A DB's best friend is a great pass rush. So, bringing Parsons in to try to get after the quarterback. I think Green Bay's in a win-now mode. They feel like they have a good team. Will Parsons be the difference? Look, Detroit was the best team in football before the injuries happened. Replacing Ben Johnson is going to be really hard on the offensive coordinator, but I trust Dan Campbell to make the right decision. Dan Campbell is a leader of men, and sometimes you just got more horses. I do think Green Bay is a hell of a horse, so in saying that, it should be a really good game.
All right, next game, Houston, the overrated Houston Texans at our LA Rams, baby.
I should have wore a Rams.
LA, just call them the Blitz Rams because we love them here.
Same colors, pretty much the same colors.
Yeah, it is. It's early in the season. Matthew Stafford, he's good right now, right?
He's playing it.
I know he's a little banged up, the back issues, but if I'm going to believe in him, it'll be early in the year, home game against an overrated Houston team. We all love the Rams here. As long as Stafford can stay healthy, the Rams are sitting on a big year. We've highlighted all the young studs that they have. I'll be watching this game mainly to see if Stafford can stay healthy.
Sometimes I wonder if they don't plan him sitting out, though. I know that's a stretch, but man, sometimes the way they talk about it, it's almost like they plan for him to sit out so many games.
I don't like it, though.
I hear you.
I don't like it.
It's hard to stay in
and
a
like
rhythm.
I said a couple episodes ago, yeah, I want him to be healthy at the end of the year, but I do not want a 4 or 5 week window in the middle of the year where he doesn't play. And we're relying on Stetson Bennett and Jimmy Garoppolo because that could derail the Rams' big season that they could be sitting on.
To me, before Rams, they were an offensive team, had a decent defense. Guys, their defense is freaking legit. I don't even think they got to score a lot of points, and that changes the way you call a game. They don't have to put up a million points when you got like Burst and Kitchens and Fisk and Kobe out there. The pass rush, the defensive line is legit. They got some good guys on the backside back there. I love Puka Nacua. I think their offensive line is really good. Really good coach in Matthew Stafford.
Hey, let's not forget they picked up Devontae Adams.
That's right.
And hey, I know he looked rough last year, but he was with a diva over there. You know what he said? I've been with this guy too long. I followed him to the Jets. What was I thinking? And now he's going out to play with Stafford.
Yeah.
So I think Devontae Adams is sitting on a big year.
Houston, they had super high expectations last year after CJ Stroud's rookie year. They were really playing good at the end of the year 2 years ago, and they had a slow start. They had some injuries that really derailed them there. But at the end of the season, they were getting hot. They were getting really good at the end of the season. So I'm kind of scared of Houston a little bit. Could be a good matchup. And the thing about the NFL, of course, you don't want to get behind too far, but you win games, you lose games. It'd be a tough one to pick. But, I feel like I have my pick, but I don't think it's going to be no cakewalk.
Yeah, I like what Anthony said. Houston was getting better. They was getting healthier at the end of the year and really kind of figuring some things out. Sophomore slump for C.J. Stroud. I like to see him be able to bounce back and have a good third year. Get some tape on these guys, and they tend to struggle a little bit early in that second season. The 425, I think this is one of the better games of the day. I like it.
Houston, I know I've dogged on them, called them overrated. Not a huge fan, but I do like their coach. I like what's his name?
Shit.
He's former player too.
Yeah.
DeMarco
Robinson,
Murray,
DeMarco.
Come on.
It's DeMarco's right.
Ryan's right.
DeMarco Ryan.
Come on, we got it.
DeMarco Robinson. Is it DeMarco Robinson?
We got it. No, DeMarco means DeMarco. No. Shit, I like the guy.
DeMarco Ryan.
D'Amico Ryan. D'Amico Ryan.
Yes,
I told you we was going to get it.
He went far in our battle royale we had.
He did. Not huge on Houston, but I do like D'Amico Ryan. All right, last game. Really big game here. Sunday night, Baltimore at Buffalo. Not a division match. This is the matchup of
this is my
two MVPs that all your Baltimore supporters, your Lamar supporters, all think that he should have had MVP last year. Josh Allen at home, trying to get over the hump. Buffalo's been in this window, the Super Bowl window. I feel like it's been right here, and I feel like it's starting to shrink. So
before we talk about it, so my wife's cousin, big Lamar fan, big Baltimore fan, he had a business plan. I almost went up with it on him, but I just can't get behind the Ravens. But it's a great business plan. So, so his wife wouldn't find out. He had this idea that you can get the Ravens at like 6.5-1 to win the Super Bowl. And he did the math. And if he did $13,000 on the Ravens, you would get over $100,000. It's a great business plan. It just is. Listen here, he's going to get a zero interest credit card, 0 interest, He looked at that credit card, found that, so there'll be no money out of pocket. And so, of course, you can't take a credit card and make a bet, but you can take a credit card and buy Bitcoin. You can take your Bitcoin and then make a bet with your Bitcoin. So you can take the $13,000, okay? Never have touch a dollar of your own money. Take that $13,000, turn it into over $100,000. And in his opinion, when Baltimore wins the Super Bowl, and of course, I was going to go in. And then at the last second, I was, Gary proposes to Katie, and hey, let's get on board with this. And Katie asked, well, what happens if it loses? I said, quit being negative.
Anthony's financial advice, new segment.
I mean, what a chain of events.
You never have to touch a dollar. It's like
I
a
had
Ponzi
no clue
scheme.
where that was going.
Multiple different types of currency.
Well, you can't.
You're transferring from cash, from credit card to Bitcoin, back to cash.
That's great.
Oh, that is.
Who owns more Bitcoin, Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson?
There's no way.
Well, the way Bitcoin is, it's none of nobody's business, right? What you own in Bitcoin is what you own in Bitcoin.
This is the preview of my AFC Championship right here. I think it's going to be a great game, fun game. Good coaches on both sides. Just the two quarterbacks. This is a great,
probably the game of the week.
Yeah, great Sunday night game. This is what
the Rams.
What's Monday night?
I'm with you.
What's Monday night game?
I mean, this is what you say.
This is Sunday night.
That's why you say I've been waiting all day for Sunday night.
Yeah,
that's what Kerry Wood was saying.
Minnesota and Chicago.
A lot of people thought Baltimore's. It's been Baltimore and Buffalo's year the last couple of years. So
both of those windows that I was talking about
for both these teams, exactly. This is it.
The window is almost exactly for both of these teams.
I agree with that.
They need to get over the hump.
And
Lamar and Josh Allen both. And as good as they are, they got to get over the hump at some point.
Both of them have had those plays that have held them back. Of course, everybody knows the one with Kansas City come down the field. That was bad coaching. Josh Allen just won that game. Of course, Lamar last year, the tight end dropped the ball. So, I mean, some things out of their control, they're doing it right. And some things are just out of their control. It's a team sport.
So. Can either of these guys overtake Patrick Mahomes? The window's closing for these two teams. So, all right, let's get our NFL picks, and then we're going to bounce back and finish the first half of the show with our college picks of the week. Let's start Thursday night, Dallas at Philly. I got Philly, no question. I actually think this game might get ugly. I don't know. I think it's going to be a double-digit game easy. I think it gets out of hand, and I'm taking Philly.
This is one of those games, I think, division game, early in the season. I like Dallas. I don't like Dallas, but I like them in this game. Philly coming off the Super Bowl, haven't really maybe got back in their groove yet. missing a piece of the offensive line. I really like Dallas got something to prove. They just got rid of their best defensive player, ranked near the bottom of the defense last year. These guys are playing for something this week. So I'm taking Dallas at Philly. Division game. I don't think Dallas does much this season, but this is the type of game that I think Dallas wins.
I think Dallas has a good season. I do. They can stay, finally catch some luck. If we're just picking the game, I'm going to take Philly. Philly's 7-point favorite.
We are just picking winners.
Yeah, if we're just picking the
we're
game,
not picking against the spread.
I'm picking Philly. I would take the points if I was betting Dallas, but I think Philly will win the game. But I wouldn't love the bet if I was taking Dallas and the points. But I do think Dallas could surprise some people in this game. But if you just gave me a pick, I'm taking Philly over Dallas.
Chargers versus Kansas City in Brazil. Josh, who you got?
My division winner is the Chargers. Kansas City has started slow in the past. I'm going Chargers. I like Herbert, like Harbaugh. Second year under Harbaugh for Herbert. I think we're going to put up some points. See if that Chiefs defense has got another year run in them.
Anything can happen in Brazil. Anthony, who you like?
I love Harbaugh. I like Herbert. I just think that Kansas City defense is really good. It's not even Mahomes for me, but I love that defense. I like the offensive line that they got. I think they understand how you build a football team. And so as much as I want to pick the Chargers, I'm going to go with Kansas City.
I know the loss was a long time ago, but I think they're, like I said earlier, I think their hair's on fire. I think they come in really ready to make up for that ass whooping they took to Philly in the Super Bowl. Sour taste in their mouth. I think that's bad news for the Chargers. Give me Kansas City.
Mahomes has a lot to prove. People was talking about him, the dad bod last year, and then the offense wasn't good last year.
They weren't.
Okay, and so with him and Kelsey, the defense is going to be good. Their defense is one of the best in the NFL, if not the best. But with him and Kelsey, something to prove, I like that angle.
Miami at Indy. I got the Dolphins.
I'll take the Colts. That's all we need to say.
Dolphins. I actually like the Dolphins.
Go horse. Go horse. Let's go.
I like Daniel Jones, too. I could see the Colts having a good year. I don't think this is as bad as game as what these two guys are. They're trying to be, whatever you want to call that word.
But it's mocking our own team.
That's right. That's right. Be positive, guys. Positive.
I'm super positive. It's September 7th. It'll be September 7th.
They trained in Siberia.
Until it gets to about November 15th. Then all downhill.
They went to Siberia this offseason and trained.
Pittsburgh at the Jets. No question for me. Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers goes back to the Jets, shows them that it was them and not him. I'm taking Pittsburgh.
I do think the Jets have a good pass defense, so I might not think it's a walkthrough is what it might seem, because the Jets eventually are going to get good. They keep drafting out. They're eventually going to get good. But it's
How long the Jets been around? At the same time, 60 years.
I'm high on Pittsburgh. Everybody's talking Aaron Rodgers and all these weapons on offense or offensive line. We still got best defensive player in football, TJ Watt over there. He's a stud. So I think if anybody can humble Aaron Rodgers, it's how bad he looked and how much of an ass he looked. I think that'll humble you. And I think he knows you don't go into a Mike Tomlin coach team in an organization like the Pittsburgh Steelers and their fans. He might thought that was cute in New York and that's what they wanted, but he knows the Pittsburgh fans are more blue-collar people. And I think you'll see a totally different Aaron Rodgers.
I'm going with Pitt as well. Same thing Anthony said. The Jets do have a good defense, but I just don't think Aaron Rodgers' debut, he's got stuff to prove. Got Tomlin with him now, a coach that maybe can keep his personality in check.
Aaron Rodgers has to bounce back from a legacy standpoint. Legacy. Like, look,
sure. I agree.
He had a huge. His legacy was awesome. He didn't win a million Super Bowls, but everybody thought, like, man, they should have won more. But it ain't all him. It's a team sport. But his legacy, that dude's a stud. He goes up to New York. People say he's an ass. He ends up being an ass up there, makes an ass of himself. He has a lot to prove. He's fighting for his legacy right now. We all know he was great. If he's not great now, he had a great career, and he was great in his career. I still think he's got greatness in him, so we'll see. But he's definitely fighting for his legacy.
Everybody remembers how you finished, though.
That's right.
All right, another Detroit at Green Bay. Anthony.
Tough game. A big piece of me wants to pick the Packers. I actually like the Packers, but at the same time, I think Detroit was the best team in football last year. I'm a Dan Campbell guy. Replaced some Ben Johnson. I think will be tough, but I don't think we're talking Philly or KC if those guys stay healthy last year. Detroit at times looked almost unbeatable, so I'm gonna go with the Lions.
I think this is another case of kind of what I was talking about with Kansas City. Detroit, great year last year. Maybe Anthony's right. They might have been the best team in the league until the injuries. Great year. I know everybody in Detroit was thinking Super Bowl. They got upset by the Rams, right? Could be by the Rams first round. Their first, didn't even win a playoff game. Detroit coming out on fire. The two new coordinators is going to be something to watch, but give me Detroit. I just think they've been stewing on this for months and months, and I think they're going to come in ready to rock and roll, and they'll be 1-0 after week one.
Update alert. Not to break the topic. Bill Belichick, first game in college football. They're up 7-0 over TCU, and they had the ball 7-0 early in the game.
I like it. Who you got?
If this game was in December at Green Bay, I think I'd be loving Green Bay in this pick. But Detroit on a revenge mission. They finally got something for their fans. I think Detroit beats Green Bay.
No doubt.
Houston at the Rams. Give me the Rams. Stafford early in the season. He'll be all right as long as that back doesn't give out on him. I think he'll be fine this week. Houston on the road. Rams, not a really probably one of the worst home field advantages I think out there, but I'm taking the Rams at home.
Stadium's nice.
The stadium's awesome, nice. But I don't think they got a huge home field advantage out there.
They're pros though. They're pros. I don't think it's as big as what it is in college. It is an advantage, home field advantage, but in college, like we seen this past weekend, man, some of them places I feel like it was worth 7 points. Some of them were so loud, but at the same time, I like Houston. I really hate picking against Houston because I do think they're going to be really good this year. But I'm a Rams guy, and I just think they're the better team. I think the Rams are one of the best teams in football. I just do. Their defense is legit. It's young. It's going to do nothing but get better with every game. Puka is a superstar out there, a wide receiver that really don't get the credit he deserves. But people that know football know Puka's legit. Stafford's a dime breed, a guy that is a true quarterback, and what I call a true quarterback, a guy can drop back and beat you with his arm. And so as long as Stafford's arm,
cross your fingers, Anthony. Just cross your fingers.
You guys worry about injuries more than anybody.
Cross your fingers.
Dude, y'all jinx people.
My man's pushing 40. I'll say something about DJ.
I'll say something about DJ Lagweather. Stay healthy. Stay healthy. Y'all always worried about injuries.
I'm talking about guys that are made of glass.
He ain't made of
Teflon. No, he's fine, but he's pushing 40 and his back's hurting. It's not a good combo. So we know you got the Rams.
I'm Rams, yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams big here.
Rams big.
Rams big.
All right.
That'd be awesome. That'd be a great hey, if you do that, they go to against Houston, which a lot of high expectations there. They go to maybe one of the Super Bowl favorites.
I like the Rams here.
Which I think Houston. They should be anyways.
All right. Probably the game of the week in the NFL. Baltimore at Buffalo. I think Buffalo gets it done at home. This is a really close matchup. They've been battling for years. Could go either way. Flip a coin. Who knows what's going to happen, but just give me the home team in week one. I'll take Buffalo.
Here you go, Josh.
Baltimore's my Super Bowl pick. But like Charlie said, week one on the road in a big matchup like this, I hate to do it week one going against my Super Bowl pick, but I think this is a game that Buffalo does get.
Well, let me, Josh, I know you don't know John Bradley, but if that's your Super Bowl pick, like I end up not getting on board with the thing. Katie's she's too much of a negative, thinking about the worst. But if that's your Super Bowl pick, dude, his plan's pretty awesome. You don't have to touch a dollar of your own money. Over $100,000. I'm sure you could use that. I could too.
I could too. Yeah.
But my wife's just negative, so whatever.
Who you got?
So for me, look, I love to get on the Baltimore train, guys. I like everything about Baltimore. I've told y'all that. But as long as they have a guy named Lamar, anytime I think the game is a 50-50 situation, I'll pick Baltimore if I just think they're the better team. But I think in this game, it's kind of a 50-50 deal. I just can't go with Lamar. He played for my rival. I know he's good. Unlike Jalen Hurts, I don't think Jalen Hurts is good. I know Lamar is very good. So there's two differences there. I'll go with Buffalo because I'm a straight hater on Lamar. If they ever get rid of Lamar when they can't win a Super Bowl, then I'll get on board with Baltimore. But any 50-50 game, I'll have to go against them.
All right, guys, that does it for the NFL picks. Hopefully we do a little bit better than we did last week. But hey, week one's always tough. We've said it, and everybody knows week one's tough. You know, you don't have a lot of stuff to go off of except moves and what they did last year. So we'll see what happens. We'll be back for week 2 next week on the NFL. Let's get back to the college picks real quick. Friday, James Madison, Louisville. Who y'all got?
Cardinals.
Cardinals. I think it's close. I think it stays close, but I think eventually Louisville's offense just takes off in the second half and they pull away with ease.
I told y'all not to sleep on James Madison. They are a good team. I hope the backup quarterback gets in.
What's his name? Sluka?
Yep.
All right.
Matthew Sluka. Watch out. But U of L at home, they got a good team. I'm going to say they squeak this one out, win by about 8. What's the spread in that?
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, I'm
14 and a half. Louisville's 14 and a half.
Yeah, I'd probably bet James Madison, but I think Louisville wins the game. I am a Louisville hater, but you know, I'll tell you when I think they're going to win. I think they win, but I think it's close, and I think they're worried late in the game. Iowa at Iowa State. Anthony, who you got?
I like the idea for Iowa having a dual threat quarterback. If you're going to be a defensive team that runs the ball, have good tight ends, you need to have a dual threat quarterback. Them two just kind of go together. You know, grinding team. Let's go get those tough yards. I don't pick against Iowa State much. If you watch the show or follow it, I'm a big Matt Campbell fan, but I'm also a Friends fan, and I just think this is going to be Iowa's game. I do. It's going to be a tough game. The battle for Iowa is always a tough game. Big rivalry. I'm going to take Iowa, and that's my pick.
Josh?
I want to go with Anthony. If it was at Iowa, that's a huge home field advantage. But you got this quarterback coming in from South Dakota State on his first road game at Iowa State. I got to go with Iowa State.
The Cyclone.
Iowa State. All right, Baylor at SMU.
Who you got that
Who
one?
you got?
Oh, did I not pick?
Past that one.
Scared? You scared?
My bad. My bad. I already wrote my pick down before I said it. I got Iowa State. I can't pick Iowa.
Usually you pick against Iowa State, so that's kind of different. Like I'm picking against them, and he's picking with them.
No, 47 passing yards or whatever Iowa had. It's not going to be enough this week against Iowa State. I'm taking the Cyclones.
Did y'all, on a quick note, did y'all see where Johnson, the quarterback from Kansas State, after the game, him and his
dad, his brother got in the fight.
And did y'all listen? His brother.
Wait, did y'all know that
fist fighting?
That's the Johnson from Kansas State. That's a
no
black
clue.
boy. He's a black. Me neither. Me neither.
No clue.
Me neither.
He does not.
Did you know, Josh?
I didn't know until everybody on the internet started talking about it.
Yeah, had no clue.
But if you look at him in the face, you can kind of tell. So.
Hey, real quick before we get to the next game, I do have something that y'all need to watch out for, and I'm gonna make this quick, but I had to point this out. Koi perch.
Is that a person or like a bird?
Sounds like a fish, right?
Yeah.
Koi perch. Safety at Minnesota, one of the best safeties in the country last year as a true freshman, 5 picks. Watch out for this guy. They're starting to play him on offense too. He returns kicks.
Okay.
They're starting to play him on offense, and he's one of the best safeties last year after his true freshman year. He had 5 picks his freshman year.
And who's he play for?
He plays for Minnesota.
Does he spell it like KOI?
Yes,
like
he
the
does.
Damn.
And he spells it just like the fish perch.
Koi
perch. I'm telling you, watch out for him. You heard it.
That's a Pokemon character.
You heard it. Koi perch, football player or Pokemon character. Hey, you heard it at Blitz the Bookie first. He could be the next Travis Hunter. He's good. Watch out for him.
As we do quick hitters, I'd missed somebody earlier too. I really wanted to touch on, and I know the whole country's seen it. How about Delaney from LSU, the Virginia Tech transfer, that DB? Ball hawk.
Yep.
Ball hawk. That was a big reason LSU was having that success. I know that now, like I said, I usually don't listen with volume, but the announcers were raving about him. But you didn't have to rave about him because you could see it. The kid's a ball hawk that transferred from Virginia Tech.
Yep.
Virginia Tech's going to miss that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Remember when everybody starts talking about Koi perch, where you heard it first. Blitz the Bookie, baby. All right, Baylor at SMU. I'm going Baylor. I think Baylor's offense looked really good. SMU's struggled a little bit in their first game. They won, but I'm taking Baylor here. I think Baylor's going to bounce back from the loss to Auburn. Quarterback Sawyer Robertson, really good, puts up big numbers. I like the bounce back for Baylor, even though it is on the road. So
Just a reminder, this game on the CW, an hour before the Dawson's Creek series finale, who does Joey end up with?
Dude, you're
Dawson
ruining our
Leary.
image. You're ruining our
Dawson
image, dude.
Leary or Pacey.
You're ruining our image.
I'm
dude.
just telling you, it's
This
something
is
to watch.
this is
something
typically
to
our
watch for.
demographics.
You didn't watch Dawson's Creek?
No.
So anyway, I like Baylor. I thought they played really well against Auburn. Auburn was just too much athleticism, too much defense. I think Baylor could put some points on SMU, and I'm with Winkle. I know he hates SMU because he hates all 3-letter
The Pony Express, baby.
So, who you got, Anthony?
So for me, I was also impressed with Baylor's offensive game. I still think they have questions at defense. I thought they threw the ball around very well. Sawyer Robinson looked great. And I'm a Jennings guy. I think SMU, the Pony Express, they're trying to make things happen down there at SMU. I did see the over and under for this game is like almost 70. It's like 68. But I think the difference in the game will be SMU's DBs. They have maybe the best safety combo in the country, have another good starting corner. It's kind of a matchup thing. And I think that those good DBs will somewhat help. It's not going to stop Baylor. Neither team's going to stop each other. But it might be just enough difference for SMU to pull out that game. I'm not saying it with a lot of certainty, but I'm going to take SMU as my pick at home.
I hear you. Oklahoma State at Oregon. Oregon.
That's
big.
Oregon.
Yeah, back
mismatch. Would you say 28? I think
28 and a half.
I don't know.
That's a lot.
With the backup quarterback, I might bet Oregon again this week. I might try and ride.
I think you got to be careful with big spreads. Look, we talked about Blitz the Bookies on high.
Yeah, I think
it gives them a good chance.
Oregon big.
I've accused Oregon of cheating before. I just have, not point spread wise, not cheating, losing games. Early in the year, I think it's easy on the big spread games for them to make a little money. I just do, and you'll never convince me these kids ain't gambling. Like you'll never convince me of that. There's no way I would have done it. So there's no way. I think this could be a game where the point spread's so high they could keep it close just so everybody can kind of win a little money. But we're just betting them flat, no point spread. So Oregon's
winning, yes.
Ole Miss at Kentucky. Can Kentucky beat Lane Kiffin for the second year in a row, derail their season, which we did last year because they probably would have been in the playoffs had we not beat them last year? Can we get it done? Is the big blue wall back? And can we pass for enough yards and enough points to keep up with Ole Miss? Anthony?
Absolutely. Like, so, no, look, it's Ole Miss is ranked number 21 in the country. They ain't like no top 10. Jackson Dart ain't there. Yeah, Simmons put up 1 million yards. They're going to play a totally different ball club. I thought we got after the quarterback really good for Toledo. I'm hoping Toledo's a very good team. Time will tell. You don't know. I know there's some people that really believe they are. I thought we were very physical up front. I love what Law did on the outside blocking. I even think we missed some opportunities like you had touched on, Charlie. I think we'll only get better. This team's a lot of transfers, and I think as they're together more, we will only get better. We're going to be physical up front. I do think you can run the ball on Ole Miss, and I just think Kiffin struggles with Stoops a little bit. You know, there was that dang key with Levis there. If he'd have caught that ball, we would have beat them.
He caught it. He just wasn't on the line of scrimmage.
Hey, they were better than us that year. You know, it's just Kiffin likes to air it out and just keep the gas down. Stoops is a grinder. It might just be a contrast in styles.
It's going to be a clash of styles.
Yeah,
sure.
it is. And,
so who you got?
Cats, baby.
Oh, there it is.
I will be at the game more than likely.
Josh.
Man, I wanted Kentucky to be good this year, but I don't think they're good enough to beat Ole Miss here. I mean, we really have to dominate the line of scrimmage in this game. And I don't think we can. I mean, I want Kentucky to be good, and I hate to make Anthony upset, but Calzada, 0 for 8 on passes over 20 yards. Calzada.
They got one called back, and then they had a couple he dropped in there, so there's some potential.
He's 1 for 11 on passes over 10 yards. So combined, my math is right, 1 for 19 on passes over 10 yards.
You know, we won games with Bowden as quarterback, don't you?
I did, but we had an unbelievable line.
And we do now, baby. We're going to run it right down their damn throats.
We're the best athletes in college football.
Going to run it down their throats. We're like 350 pounds a guy up front. I say
33-13 Ole Miss.
Toledo goes undefeated in the MAC.
I hope they do.
Look, I still need to see more from this Kentucky team, and we're going to see this week.
Me too.
We weren't tested. You know, look, Toledo is a good team, but we play an SEC schedule. Okay, we beat Toledo. That's cool. we've got to see what we've got against this brutal schedule that we've got coming up. It starts this week with Ole Miss. Just like Josh, I want them to be good. I'm not coming off of my 8-4. I said they were going to be 8-4. I really did. It kind of came out that way, but I'm not coming off the fact that I do think Kentucky's going to be better than everybody thinks. But I need to see more. This will be the week. I don't think they can keep up with Ole Miss. Man, 700 yards to whatever we put up. I just don't think Kentucky and our style is going to be able to keep up with Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin cannot lose to Kentucky again 2 years in a row. His seat will probably be on fire if they lose this game. I'm going to take Ole Miss, but I will have all my blue on, and I hope Kentucky pulls it out. We'll see what happens.
Well, I'll be at the game, and I'll be as loud as I can to put as much pressure on that Kiffin punk as possible.
Let's go.
I'll tell you what I seen that you ain't hearing nobody talk about, but I did see this, and I was just thinking about it. I seen a lot of plays the other day where we were going to make big plays running the ball, and they would like barely get our foots. I seen maybe 4 or 5 of those that were going to be like monster gainers, and they barely got our legs. The hole was there, the gap was there, and the guy dove and just hit his leg. It was just enough to trip him up. I feel like they did that to Dodwell once. They did it to Seth McGowan like 2 or 3 times. We were almost explosive. You remember them Kentucky teams where we were explosive in the run game? Of course, you don't get fans that like it, but we were really good. If we just kept running, and eventually we'd break them. And that's the vision for me for this team. And I think we will be better in the pass game as teams come up and have to stop that run. I do. And I'm just hoping Toledo was as good as guys like Phil still thought they were. So,
All right. The game of the week. Number 14, Michigan at number 18, Oklahoma. Josh, how you feeling about this one? Who you got?
I think we saw it this week with some of those inexperienced quarterbacks on the road, even with Arch at Ohio State. There was another game. I had another one. But Arch on the road struggled. Simpson, his first start on the road.
Yes.
I thought he struggled. Mateer, he threw for 392 last week. That's a record for an Oklahoma QB's debut. He beat Baker Mayfield's record. He threw for 388 in his debut. I love Oklahoma here. Just Bryce Underwood, first game on the road at night. I just think the inexperience is just going to be too much for him. Oklahoma is going to get him.
Yeah, look, I really want to take Michigan here. I like the Bryce Underwood kid a lot. He played really good in week 1, his debut. But I said it earlier, I think the matchup between the tricky defensive coordinator in Brent Venables at Oklahoma against the freshman quarterback in his first road game in a tough environment on the road, 7:30 at Oklahoma, I think it's going to be too much. I do think he forces him into a couple mistakes. 1 or 2 mistakes in a game like that can cost him. So as much as I really want to take Michigan here, I'm going to go with Oklahoma. I don't know much about that quarterback. I'm anxious to see him play, the Mateer kid from Washington State. But we'll see what happens. I'm going to ride with Oklahoma, even though I want to cheer for Michigan. But I'm taking Oklahoma. Anthony, who you got?
The Michigan Wolverines will dominate the Oklahoma Sooners.
He loves Michigan. Sit down, Wolverine. You might not even have been on camera. Man, I knew you was going to pick Michigan too. The Wolverines. Well, look, we got a little pecan pie here. Look, I couldn't do the whole 11 items, but we got some pecan pie. I don't even know if I've ever had pecan pie, but this is Oklahoma's dessert for their official meal. You want to eat any of this, Wolverine?
He prefers meat.
You want to eat this?
Oh, let's go.
Cheers. Boomer Oklahoma, Sooner, baby. Boomer Sooner.
That's pretty good. I barely made it home after eating that Buckeye. I almost had to stop at the Stortons and use the bathroom last week.
I might like pecan pie now.
This is good.
That's pretty good. Hey, guys. Wolverine is fucking pumped for the game. Guys, that does it for the first half of the show. Catch us right back on the second half. It's the right side of Kentucky sports. We'll catch y'all next weekend or next week. Blitz the bookie.
See ya.
Charlie got the mic, he's dropping facts all day. Anthony's like, nah, I got the better parlay. Argue about the spread, it's a fierce debate. But when it comes to Wildcats, they align their fate. Blitz the bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums. Late nights, hustle deals on the line. Charlie Scassy's gonna make you shine. Anthony's heart where the numbers combine. Put your cash down, ride the incline. Blitz the bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums. From the tip off to the final play, they grind. Mics on fire, bets on their minds. Arguing odds till the last rewind. Blue and white, it's a bond you'll find. The bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums. From the tip off to the final play, they grind. Mics on fire, bets on their minds. Arguing odds till the last rewind. Blue and white, it's a bond you'll find. Yeah. Bond you'll find. Blitz the bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drum.